Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast. I'm really excited to share with you a conversation that I had with my colleague Melissa. We have a beautiful event happening this weekend, a taste of spring. It's an open house style event to help introduce you to yoga and meditation and how they could help you through the spring season, as well as introduce you to how we approach those notions. So take a listen, enjoy. Just as a reminder, any tips, tricks, or ideas that are shared on this podcast are meant for spiritual entertainment and enlightenment purposes only. If you have any physical or mental health concerns, please seek a physical or mental health professional. Sit back, enjoy, and let me know what you think, and maybe we'll see you Saturday.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Melissa Killeleagh. I'm here with my co-creator, Karen Slack,
Hey
and we're
everybody.
going to chat a little bit today because we have an event coming up next weekend on April 20th at the Health Collective in Penyan. It is a taste of spring where we really wish to help you figure out how to use yoga and meditation to help you thrive in this season. Karen and I both have different roles at the collective. Karen is a more active contributor and healer there. So Karen, I'd love if you would like to share a little bit about, what you do and why we're here.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be a part of this event happening this Saturday to introduce a little bit of what we do and to talk a little bit about how people get to know us, because I feel like I know for myself in particular, the modalities that I use, people really aren't quite sure what it is and why they need it. Here I have a couple of different modalities that I embrace, but my goal as a spiritual life coach is to help you understand your energy. We all have an energy field that surrounds us and moves through us. And it can affect us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And through things like meditation and energy work, and intuitive work and life coaching, I just help people connect with that energy and find that unique expression of themselves, and maybe create space in their life to have a conversation on a regular basis where they can release the dense energy or the excess that's hanging out in that energy field and embrace that inner expression and that inner light, so they can connect with their truth better, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I love that we figured out that our paths crossed, not in time and space, but through a particular training in this community too, with Beth Lynch
Absolutely.
at Inner
Go
Light
ahead.
Practitioners. Yeah, yeah. And what I'm bringing to the table, so on Thursdays, I'm at the Health Collective teaching yoga, and I teach a class that's at 4:30. That is slow flow. It's really just taking a lot of the basics of vinyasa, but breaking it down and getting a little bit deeper into the muscles. Um, and then at 5:45, I teach a Kundalini yoga class, and that's actually my passion. And for similar reasons, I feel like Kundalini is a really great way of being able to connect with our own divine inner light, to really start to understand our own radiance and to kind of like release all of that other stuff, right? Like all of the stress and tension that we accumulate on a daily basis, we hold in our bodies, all the emotional experiences that we carry with us regularly. How do we find ways to move that energy through us, and then to really allow our breath and our bodies to start to ignite that inner light, right? And to help it shine brighter. So I'm super excited for us to partner up for this particular event because, like you said, I don't think a lot of people necessarily understand the how. And so that can keep people from coming through the door. Because if they think they need to walk in, for example, to an hour and 15-minute Kundalini class, and if in this first 7 minutes they realize, oh, this isn't for me, then there's a nervousness around that. And I don't ever want that for anybody, right? We all have to find our way to the things that help us in our lives. And what I do is not going to be for everyone, right? But if we can find the people who need it, then beautiful. We can serve more people, which I know ultimately Dr. Meredith is really, all about, like, how can we serve our people better? How can we guide them towards true health? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about the format for next weekend?
Yeah, I just want to touch base on something you said real quick. I love the notion of how you mentioned that people aren't really sure, and if it's not for them, then they can try it on a little bit. I've had multiple people over the years tell me I can't meditate, and they've tried it once or twice and it just didn't work for them. And my goal is to help you find a version of meditation that works for you, or to understand meditation differently so that you can witness where maybe you're doing this meditation in your life already, you just didn't realize it, or you can stop judging yourself within that space. So just like you with mentioning that notion of finding the people that resonate, also helping people find what resonates within the stuff we do.
Right. Right. I got goosebumps when you said that, Karen, because this is why you know, our energy around this connects so beautifully. It's because you and I both know that some people are already meditating when they walk the lake or when they do the dishes or fold the laundry,
Yep.
right? It's not about, getting still and silent necessarily. For some people, that's helpful, but not for everybody.
Hmm.
We're not monks living in a monastery. We are humans running households.
Yep.
And so, how do we help people find the thing that, A, they're probably already doing in some way, and how do we help them harness that a little bit more intentionally?
Yeah, absolutely. And that notion, like most of my meditations are not settling my mind, but actually giving my mind space to let it unfold. And the terms yoga and meditation are buzz terms that are used as blanket notions across so much that they've lost the meaning. So to help people find that unique individual meaning is kind of powerful. So we had mentioned we were talking about the format for this weekend. What I love about it is that for the first hour, it's from 11 till about 1. And for the first hour, we're just going to have a conversation. We're going to sit down and talk about what we do, talk about some of the things as to how to help you understand. We're going to take questions. Excuse me. We're going to bust some myths. Like we said, that notion of what people think yoga and meditation are, and break past that to really help you understand what our unique process is within all of this, and hopefully help to ease your mind and invite you in a little bit. And then we're going to move into the yoga space downstairs here at the Health Collective. And we're going to try some out, and we're going to have a little bit of a meditation to open us up and to help us connect within a little bit. And then we're going to have experience some yoga, and then I'm going to finish off with a meditation to help to balance and ground our energy at the end. So, do you want to share a little bit about your process through all that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So um, we'll get a little bit of the Kundalini yoga in there. We'll get a little bit of the slow flow yoga so that people can try it on for size, but actually feel like they can get into a little bit of a practice that day. And when it comes to my philosophy on yoga, it's so similar, Karen, to how you are working with meditation, right? It's about getting people to really kind of come into this present moment,
Hmm.
right? And to allow mind, body, spirit to kind of come together and open up, right?
Hmm.
So that we can kind of come to know our own true light that guides us, even through moments of darkness. I was thinking a lot about that through the eclipse last week, right? It's like the more we come to know the light within, then the dark times in our lives just don't feel as hard, right?
Yep.
Because we can light the way ourselves. But I don't want to speak so abstractly about it, because I do think it's important for people to understand that when you come into a yoga class that I'm teaching, you don't need to have any prior experience. You can tell me about the things that feel like restrictions for you. I hear people all the time will say things to me like, I don't come to yoga because I'm not flexible. Well, you don't come to yoga because you are flexible. You might come to yoga because you want to become more flexible. But for me, it's not just about the traditional, stretchy yoga poses. I'm not interested in just having a yoga class that's about, getting a yoga body. I'm interested in helping people live better in their bodies and to experience life more fully, because they're able to be in their bodies in a more heart-centered way, if you
Mhm.
will, right? It's like where we can feel our way through the things and stop doing everything with this big mind of ours, which is always so busy. So if we can kind of bring it all together in the same time and space, it's called a practice for a reason, right? How do I practice hearing these cues and being able to like experience that in my body, being able to tune into my own energy? It's really a beautiful thing. And so if somebody comes and they want to do the practice in a chair, everything can be done in a chair, right? I actually, outside of the Health Collective, am teaching several chair yoga classes because not only are they great at, as we get older in life and maybe have a little bit less flexibility and mobility, but they're also great for just getting deeper in to certain kinds of movements and postures so that if I want to get into my thigh, let's say in a warrior pose, what better way than to have a chair supporting you so that you can really be focusing all of your energy on this one particular thing. So in any sense, I digress a little bit, but what I'm hopeful for in this space is for people to just feel comfortable coming and talking and asking questions and trying things out and not having to feel this deep commitment. Yes, it's a 2-hour session in the sense that we're having this space in the beginning upstairs for just conversation and dialogue, which I think is actually great for anyone who is a beginner and has never done any of this, all the way to seasoned practitioners, because it's a great time of the year to also revisit what is my personal practice? What am I doing on a daily basis for my meditation and my yoga practice? And then to go downstairs at noon and have some practice together. I think it's really just a beautiful way to feel light about it.
Yeah.
And then to really honor the time of year that it is truly, right? It's spring. We're looking around and we're seeing the trees bud and we're hearing the birds and we're watching them start to nest. I've got mourning doves who just laid eggs in one of my planter boxes, right? It's like we are doing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? We're starting to figure out like what are some of the things that we can do to help us flourish
Absolutely.
as we move into this like outward expression. And one of the things I think is so potent about yoga and meditation is it helps to keep bringing us back into ourselves and checking in with ourselves while life speeds up,
Yeah,
as it certainly
absolutely.
does through spring and summer, right?
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed within the clients that I've worked with recently is we have sustained this, I want to say like low level of fight or flight energy that is consistently moving through life. And that's not sustainable for us anymore. People are starting to have reactions physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually with this stress and overwhelm through life that are not as easily balanced as they were before, or they're losing themselves in this process of life. And a lot of people are like, hang on, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And I feel like yoga and meditation, like you said, are such a good way to slow down that rhythm and get to know yourself again, because you lose yourself in that process so easily. And we forget to allow space to digest the energy and digest the emotions that we experience. And so often, all the different emotions and all the different situations we have in life, there's this seed of wisdom or this seed of insight that they offer. But if we never slow down, we never move through it, and we can never pull the pieces to grow into the newest version of ourselves. And I've had some really great experiences with my clients that are able to slow down in the meditation and reflect on what they're experiencing and have the tools to witness it versus be in it. And I've also found that a lot of times the notion of yoga, and correct me if I'm wrong because that's not my modality, but the notion of yoga helps to ground that energy. So having the practice of both helps to balance that physical experience they're having that's preventing them from slowing down in meditation, to ground their energy and open up to understanding things differently. So I'm excited for that pairing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what it does, as you said that, I think the practices are almost the same, right? So yoga, the word is to yoke, right? Is union, bringing it together, mind, body, spirit. But it's really truly a reunion because it's not like we're ever, flailing around separately all the time, right? Like our mind can't be over here while our body's over here and our spirit's over here.
It feels
It's
like it
just
sometimes.
that it's just right. It's just that it feels that way because, we are operating in this time-space continuum. And so when we're constantly in the mind and we're not paying attention to what the body and the spirit are doing and experiencing, then it feels sort of crazy, right? And so when we pull
Absolutely.
it together, through meditation, through yoga, that reunion, that coming back into self. In fact, I purposefully moved from teaching a much more physically demanding yoga style, because there's so many different types of yoga out there, so that I could be a little bit more integrated. And so in my practice, I incorporate what I love to refer to as moving meditation,
Hmm.
right? And then even at the end, like we typically have a meditation at the end of class. And if not meditation in the slow flow class, we at least have a long um, got like relaxation at the end, shavasana, so that people can integrate, right? Because like you said, when we go through life with this low level anxiety and stress constantly, our nervous system is patterned around that. And so then we're constantly seeking to recreate it because our minds are brilliant and our bodies are brilliant. They're like, all right, cool, this is what we're doing. So we're going to keep doing this, right? But these practices that you and I are doing are kind of like pattern disruptions,
Yep.
right? Like, let's open up here for a second and see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I absolutely think they work hand in hand, and sometimes they're almost synonymous for me, right?
Hmm.
Like in some limbs of yoga, the focus is meditation
Hmm.
entirely,
Yep.
because
Absolutely.
that's what brings mind, body, spirit together.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And when I first started getting into this, I started with my Inner Light Healing course and then moved into many other courses. And it very much was an emotional and spiritual process for me. And that's solely what I focused on. And it wasn't until I expanded my practice here that it became definitely more aware about the physical aspects of our energy and what happens with that, along with that mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect. And having that, like you said, that disruption. At first, it may feel like a disruption, but when you continue with it and you build that practice, it becomes this space that you create within your life to have that conversation with your energy and have that conversation to be like, okay, wait a minute, who am I in response to what's happening in life versus this is happening to me. We get to have that conversation with who am I and why is this happening for me? And some of the very, very difficult things that we go through end up being a powerful reflection of who we are as individuals. And having those tools to anchor us and disrupt that pattern really become a powerful process.
Absolutely. And I love and appreciate what you said before too, about how as we go through those, challenging times, like quite often there's that seed of wisdom, right? There's
Hmm.
that thing to bring forward. But if we don't slow down, then we never actually get to carry that forward, right? It
Yeah.
just kind of, it's like a seed laying on a table over here, right? Like without being put in the soil and tended to with, sunshine and water, then it can't, there's nowhere we can go with it. We have to actually see that it's there first.
Yeah. And
Right?
I kind of feel like that's what everybody's experiencing is we have all of these seeds that are ready to be planted, but we're ignoring them. So it feels like the energy in the universe is like, okay, you're going to slow down now and pay attention to these before they wither away and are not able to. So it's that overwhelm that is encouraging us to slow down and try new things. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why you and I both are in tune with this concept of like, now's the time. Things are going to speed up. And
yep.
we already have people who feel like they've been doing this low grade anxiety for however long, some of us our entire lives, but certainly if you weren't before COVID, many people have carried that forward. Right. And
Hmm.
so let's really take some time to think intentionally as we move into spring and then summer, these beautiful, radiant, flourishing seasons, and let's allow that within ourselves as
Yep,
well. Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool.
Very
Well,
cool.
we'll be at the Health Collective. It's 1930 Preemption Road in Penn,
Mhm.
11 to 1, next Saturday, April 20th. We'd love to see you there. I will make sure that wherever this is shared, you will also be able to find the link to register,
Yep,
because everybody who registers ahead of time and then shows up gets a free gift that you do not want to miss next weekend.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Very cool. Yes, absolutely. It'll be a great time to connect with new people and to visit and to ask questions. All are welcome. There's no wrong questions, just an open format to get to know us and have a
absolutely.
conversation.
If you
So,
want to come for the first hour and just talk things out and not stay for the practice, or vice versa, show up for the second hour, do the practice, beautiful. Whatever feels right for you, whatever's going to support you in this season. So
absolutely. Yes, and like you said, those that register ahead of time and show up at the event for that free gift, there isn't a time length as to how long you have to stay at the event in order to get the free gift. So it's not like a raffle where you have to be present at the drawing. You just have to show up and be there and witness what you're comfortable with.
beautiful. All
Very
right.
cool.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you for connecting and sharing. And it's a great
Yes,
conversation. I look forward to it.
same to you. And hopefully we'll see all of you there.
Absolutely.